and welcome into Half the Distance Live, your favorite, or hopefully favorite, barroom style podcast sports commentary. If you're new to our show, we're here to talk sports like your favorite dickheads you might find at your local spot. We're going to talk our trash. We're going to give our notes. And as we get into what is now Wild Card Weekend on the playoffs, it's going to be very, very limited. And at the same time, we are limited with who is here to share this with you. So I am Scott Staten, a.k.a. Scotty Stats. I'm here with the chair, the professor, Brian. Matty Fax, normally steering this wobbly ship.
He's so tiny.
He's so tiny. Look at him. He is enjoying vacation with his lady. Not here. I guarantee he's planning on listening the second this is posted. Also, we are producer list. Not that they do anything for us, but also no producers. So it is just Brian and I.
Well, they're usually here for, like, amoral support.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Amoral support sounds correct, so. One of our beliefs when it comes to our barroom style has to do with our general hatred and dislike for most of the the announcers out there. Obviously, Joe Buck, the worst.
The worst.
Chris Collinsworth, the worst. You know, if you've previously played quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, you're probably the worst. That being said, there's a few great ones out there.
Yep.
Erin Andrews, put her in the booth. But as always, fuck Joe Buck.
Fuck Joe Buck. And don't assume because we didn't bring up Tom Brady that he's not on the shit list.
He's got a lot to go.
He just hasn't earned his spot on the shit list yet.
Yeah. Also, there's a good chance he's about to lose his contract and go and focus specifically on the Raiders next year. So there's a lot of chatter that's where he's going to focus his time on. But anyways, there are it's Wild Card Weekend, like I said, which means there are 6 whopping games. And because we don't do things when it makes sense, there have been 4 so far. We happen to be recording live. We are on YouTube if you've tuned in outside of just the regular podcast. We are about to watch the Sunday night game, 8 p.m. game, but only but that also means we have the Monday game that we also can't report on. So we got a whopping 4 games to talk about, Brian.
I think we can do it.
So yeah, let's get into it. That means that Friday night's game. Sorry, I'm lumping in some of the college games too. You know what I mean? So
you're just all over the place.
I'm all over the place. Whatever. So we kick things off with the Texans and the Chargers. I do want to say that this game started off very interesting. The Chargers kicked it off in a very boring first quarter with a whopping 6 points.
Yep.
2 field goals, and it didn't get that much more exciting into the second half. But the Texans did take the lead. Going to the second half, 10-6, and that's when everything changed. That's when Texans blew it up. They ended up winning 32-12. I am almost positive that I picked the Chargers to win this game.
Every single one of us picked the Chargers.
Did we all really? Oh,
and I was like, I could have sworn I would have picked the Texans.
No, but
not
like,
the way they've been playing.
We all felt like the Chargers were. No pun intended, surging, and the Texans were just living like they were just a bit too meek. Yep. They're down Stephon Diggs for most of the season.
Yep.
Tank Dell goes out a few games ago with just an awful injury that's looking like it might take him out next season also, which is terrible. But Texans were just like, but in general they weren't, even with Tank Dell there, they just weren't gelling a bunch of the season. The Chargers seemed to be on their way up. Harbaugh seemed to be, really making it a solid team when we didn't see it there. Yeah. So coaching making the difference
all season long.
Herbert looking like a stud. Went into this game with 3 whopping interceptions all season.
Yep.
But hey, he finished with 7. If that's what you want to know about the game. So, but it wasn't just the slow start. that was the best part of it. I do want to say that it was almost to a point where it could have been a turnaround, and it's weird to say the fourth quarter, finishing 32-12 looks like a blowout, but in reality, coming into the fourth quarter, the Texans do go up 23-6. Ouch. With 10.5 minutes left, an 86-yard pass, Ladidi McConkey from Justin Herbert makes it 12-23. And they're gonna go for the extra kick to make it 13-23. That is more than one score, but there is 10.5 minutes left.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. The most demoralizing thing you could expect, which is a blocked extra kick that didn't touch the ground.
Yep.
That Texas then ran back. D'Angelo Ross has a defensive PAT conversion, which is 2 points.
2 points. Yep.
Luckily, only 2 points, but still. Now it is a 13-point spread, and not enough time left, and then one more touchdown from Texans. So yeah, that was a rough one.
They're probably starting to feel like, okay, we can come back from this. Like, we got points up finally since the first quarter.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, stat wise, Justin Herbert was 14 for 32.
Oof.
Ouch. 242 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, with a whopping 13 QBR.
Oof.
That is
13.
Painful.
Oh.
Dobbins, he was 9 carries for 26 yards, and Edwards 7 carries for 22. But like, you're not going to use your running backs when you're behind anyways like that. You got to go on arm. I'm gonna read the number 2, 3, and 4 receiver on the Chargers. That would be Will Dissly, 2 for 16. Tucker Fisk, 1 for 15. DJ Shark Jr., he's still around.
Wow.
1 for 10. All of their yards, 9 for 197. Ladidi McConkey.
Yep.
And a touchdown, by the way.
86 on that one catch.
86-yard TD. But even still, like, he was already over 100. Yeah, like, this kid is great. But the reality is he's playing out of his position. I really believe he's playing out of his position. He is really going to be, like, if they can find a speedster to go downfield, Ladidi McConkey playing a little bit shorter is going to be fantastic.
Yep.
They really are one receiver away from being a better team.
Yeah.
And they came in, like, here they are, 11-6.
Yeah, they were
You
good.
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can't complain about that. And they got the coaching for it. Today wasn't the day that, or this week wasn't the week, whatever. I was a little surprised. Like, I really thought that they were going to at least take one more step into the playoffs. But that being said, Texans, as soft as they've been lately, they played good ball. CJ Stroud was 22 for 33.
Yeah.
He was 282 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Their running game, strong. Joe Mixon, 25 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. CJ Stroud had 6 for 42. Nice. Nico Collins, he is
Perfect.
their option.
Yep.
7 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. There was also a pick 6 with 4 interceptions. Good God, 4 interceptions.
When you're so good all year, not
right,
doing
there was a pick 6 in there. This wasn't the fun start to the playoffs that we all wanted. It was a bit of a surprise. Like we wanted the Chargers and the Texans to be. Listen, if you enjoy either one of those
rivals,
teams,
I hate
sure,
the Chargers.
fair enough. Yeah,
Grown from Texas, I like the
but
Texans.
it was a slow start. It became a little bit more fun in the second half. But hey, so good on the Texans.
Yeah.
They like to go next round of the good for them. I mean, good God. Actually, either one of those teams is running into a fucking gauntlet. So that's for goddamn sure. So, as we get into the following game
Some quick stats on that game, actually. Because, Matty Fax isn't here, so I can throw in a couple of facts. This one isn't about the Bears, so it's nice.
Okay. Yeah.
They put up their 10 points in the first half. They got the ball back, scored a touchdown with a minute 9 left, forced a 3-and-out that only chewed up 19 seconds of the clock, and then made the field goal. A minute 9. Like, holy shit. Like,
Jesus.
that is impressive as hell.
Yeah.
Second half, on two possessions, Joe Mixon chewed up almost 8 minutes of clock time on the ground.
Oh, my God.
In 2 possessions. Like, they did it right. They got just enough of a lead and then didn't make mistakes in the second half. Like, fucking impressive, guys.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, jumping into the next game, that would be the Ravens and the Steelers. The time before when they met, it was a bit of an offensive shootout. But the Ravens are looking like a Super Bowl-bound juggernaut. And the Steelers clearly played the best game of their fucking career against them earlier in the season. Because, while the Ravens did win 28-14, it was literally a handling up and down.
Yeah.
It was 21-0 going into halftime. Pittsburgh did get 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Ravens got another touchdown in that quarter, and that was about it. But the reality is, opening drive of this fucking game, Derrick Henry with a stiff arm. And let me tell you what, there's only 2 of us here, but I speak for the general collective that are not also here. We get our stiffies on stiffies, okay? And Derrick Henry is the king of stiffies.
I don't know if it was so much a stiff arm as it was an open-palmed punch to the head.
Christ.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And actually, also later in the game, Isaiah Likely does the same thing, comes in with
his best D. Henry
very
impersonation.
Derrick Henry-esque stiff arm. And it's like, Derrick Henry's a big man. Isaiah Likely's actually a bigger man. So, holy shit. Yeah, the Ravens, they own this game top to bottom. Simple as that.
Yep.
Russell Wilson had a fine game.
Perfectly fine.
20 for 29, 279 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Got sacked 4 times. That definitely doesn't help. Rushing was non-existent. Najee Harris led for six carries and 17 yards. When you're behind like that, you just don't run the ball. George Pickens, their number one option, 87 yards.
Had a tutty, but not
got a tutty.
much outside of that.
Exactly. Najee Harris, 3 for 41.
Najee
Van
had a couple
Jefferson,
of really
2
nice
for
runs.
37. Yeah.
But nothing. Yeah.
Like there was some but at the same time, this was all as they were doing this second half because
Yep.
the gap was already there. And what are you gonna fucking do? Especially when you've got Lamar Jackson putting up a whopping 6 for 21 and 175 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Derrick Henry carrying the ball 26 times.
Yep.
186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Likely, 3 for 53. Mark Andrews, 2 for 27. Nelson Aguilar, 1 for 25. Rashad Bateman, 2 for 24. Justice Hill, got a touchdown. Rashad Bateman got a touchdown. Justice Hill got a touchdown. But they're going deep into this. We'll throw to whoever the fuck we want.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. And that's with Zay Flowers out, which means bring him back and as their target, along with Likely and Andrews.
Yep.
They're playing Super Bowl ready football right now. Holy
the Steelers defense
shit.
was just awful. The Justice Hill one that they got the tutty on. In no way should that have been a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And they just fucked themselves. I'm like, oh, are you gonna tackle? No. Oh, I thought you were gonna tackle. I swear it looked like a skit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Baltimore just fucking running shop. It was they're just looking so scary. Speaking on looking scary, I guess we're gonna jump in today in the first game of today, which started out beautifully.
Let's just talk about the first possession of the game.
First possession of the game. Beautiful drive up the field by Denver. Spreading the field. Getting a passing touchdown. First drive of the game.
Looked beautiful.
And then giving up 31 straight points. So yes, the Buffalo Bills did win 31-7.
Yep.
Yeah. Bo Nix finished 13 for 22, 144 yards and a touchdown pass. Got sacked twice. Bo Nix also ran 43 yards, which was above Javonte Williams, who was 7 for 29. No rushing game at all. Cortland Sutton, who's looking so good this year.
Good. Yeah.
Honestly, like going into next year can only get better. Can only get better.
I think
It's
so.
like,
Yeah.
I really think that the passing game is going to build with the Broncos.
Yep.
It's this season. It started very short passes.
Yeah.
And as Bo Nix got more comfortable looking downfield, Court Sutton, like hell yes. But he only had 75 yards. Troy Franklin got the lone passing touchdown. He was 54 yards total. Buffalo, on the other hand, Josh Allen was 20 for 26 on some fucking clean passing. 272 yards.
Good secondary.
2 touchdowns. And Denver leading the league in quarterback sacks. Only got 2.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when that's your game, you only get 2.
It goes back to what we talked about weeks ago about how, Allen is becoming more and more of a really good field general. Mm-hmm. And when he was coming under pressure, almost every single time, turned out a great fucking play out of it.
Yep.
What looked like it'd be a 7-yard loss, nope, first down.
Yep. And when you've got someone like James Cook, who is last year was looking good, reminding us all of his brother.
Yeah.
This season, reminding us of exactly what his brother did.
Yep.
He put up 23 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown. And it seemed like every carry was more than that. He was like doing so much. Josh Allen, number 2 behind him with 46 yards. Ty Johnson with 44. Ray Davis, who's been a phenomenal backup to James Cook, only got 1 carry for 3 yards, which is a bit of a surprise. Well, that being said, you didn't need to use him for a lot of it anyways. But in my mind, it was like, you're ahead. Bring him in and have him push the ball up more. Get that repetition underneath him.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's been such a good rookie behind James Cook anyways. Like, I'm not, whatever. That's for smarter people than me to know. On the passing side, Curtis Samuel?
Yeah.
Reminding us that he used to be a wide receiver too. He was 3 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. Keeping in mind, one of those was a 55-yarder, but still. Khalil Shakir, who was smothered all game, 61 yards. Dalton Kincaid, 47. Dawson Knox, 38. What the fuck are you going to do when you've got 2 tight ends that have hands are going to put up, that are essentially going to go 9 for 108 yards? Like, holy shit, and then Ty Johnson also gets a touchdown, whatever. Buffalo I'm sorry, Brian. Buffalo had their way.
No.
Buffalo had their way. Denver did draw first blood, and it was really, really nice. And then it turned into a very, very boring game of watching Buffalo just say, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. Amari Cooper, nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
That being said, he's coming off injury. Let him rest.
Yeah.
Let him rest.
If they need him, they need him.
Keon Johnson really didn't do very much. Same thing. Keon Coleman. Sorry, Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
He's been a nice rookie. At the same time, if you don't need him, use these other guys out there.
And I know the Bills
Shakir,
fans are going to hear this,
good.
but with the numbers, Josh Allen had a good game, nothing amazing, a good game. He ran a good fucking team, but the way that they spread the ball around and just said, "Oh yeah, Cook, keep running, Cook, keep running. I'll pass it now."
Oh yeah.
It's very comparable to every time the Patriots won the Super Bowl. where it's just spread around, and whoever's going to be the guy on this play is going to be the guy, and we're not looking to target any individual.
Right.
Like,
Right.
And it fucking worked, you know.
And like I can appreciate like keeping Shakir in that motion. Like, all right, so Amari Cooper, definitely more of a vet, no doubt about it. Keeping Shakir in that motion because he's clearly your number one. And like it's not like in terms of total yards on the season, I don't even think he has 100. You know, or, sorry, 1,000.
That's 100. Holy
100.
shit!
No, like I don't think he has 1,000. Like that's what's crazy. Like the Bills, like they're like they move the ball around. You know, Coleman's got him. Kincaid and Knox, like they're getting him.
Yeah.
They bring in Cooper. He starts getting comfortable. But like it's not like this like guarantee. Like they don't have like 1,000-yarder guy out there, but he's their guy, no doubt about it.
But I mean, that's how you make a strong team, where you can't just shut down one or two players. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So
yeah, it was impressive. I could have done without the loudest doink in history of NFL.
I thought about not bringing that up, Brian.
Not because we needed the points, but because that was just kind of the capper, you know.
It going into just before the end of the first half. Yes, it was 10-7, and it might have been nice if we saw it even.
Yep. Would that have changed the mentality of the team?
Maybe,
but I don't think so.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna lie. Will Lutz, I literally said it. I'm sorry.
You didn't.
Because there was 5 seconds left on the clock. And it like they've got a timeout. Like they could there was a 50-yard field goal. They could have moved up a little bit more. And it was like with 5 seconds, you could have found a little bit extra. You could have made a play up, or at least tried. You know. And they're like, it's Will Lutz. You can trust that leg. Well, the leg was not the problem. He had plenty of leg.
The ball was going 80 miles an hour.
he had fucking 10 yards on that thing, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And what you said is, but apparently you can't trust the foot because that thing hit that fucking upright. I've never seen a ball drop straight down like that.
So fast.
Go. It was nuts. Just straight fucking down. Holy shit. It was like clean. If he was 1 yard back, because it was drifting in. Holy shit, it hit that thing so fucking clean. God damn.
I mean, it was fun. Like, I mean, we live in an area that is nearly all Buffalo Bills fans, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I do root for the Bills. Like, not against my team. I'm never going to pick against my team.
Yeah.
But the fact that we made a playoff game this year, I did not see that. That was not an expectation at all.
And that's actually, like, fantastic. Like, that's a great point, because they were not expected to make it.
Not at all. Especially not in that division, you know?
Their potential is so fucking strong, man. I know they're still struggling behind Russell Wilson contract numbers.
Yep.
So, next year, like, it's tough to expect a huge step forward, because you still have a lot of that cap to struggle with. But the defense is fantastic.
It's good. I feel they found their wide receiver one. I feel they've got their quarterback.
They definitely need to figure out, like Patrick Surtain is so fucking good. But you can't like, you got to make sure that he's satisfied without losing too much behind it.
Yep.
That's for sure. But my God, like that team in a rough division
eked out 10 wins. I'll fucking take it.
Eked out 10 wins.
You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, I mean, overall, good season for my Broncos.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
And if we're going to lose to someone in the wild card round, I'm glad it's the Bills, you know?
As opposed to a team that was very beatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you have to play the Chargers, you don't want to lose to the Chargers.
I never want to lose to the Chargers. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't even think about, like, from those aspects. Yeah.
Right. Where the Bills, it's like, the Bills are on a tear.
Yeah.
Beating the Bills would be mile high. I'm sorry.
Like, losing to the Texans would have also sucked.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, the Bills, I could take that loss,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, of course. So So again, like I said, we're ultimately super early. So the only game we have to talk about this week that's left is the Packers and the Eagles, and it was boring as fuck to watch.
Yep.
The Eagles went up.
On my notes, the first part of my recap says pretty boring.
Pretty boring. Yeah, Eagles went up 10-0 in the first quarter. Second half had nothing. And then, a little bit more happened over the course of the game, and the Eagles won 22-10. It was, uneventful. Green Bay.
Well, you're looking at the stats, right?
Yeah.
If you looked at the stat line, would you have watched that game?
Jordan Love was 20 for 33, 212 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Luckily, you have Josh Jacobs because he put up 81 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Love was the next closest with 10 yards. Yeah. On the receiving end, obviously, not a ton. Jaden Reed did 46 yards. Josh Jacobs, 40. Devontae Wicks, 39. Tucker Kraft, 26. Yeah, ugly. The fumbles were bad. There were 5 fumbles total. No, sorry. 3 fumbles on Green Bay. It was a pretty sad, pathetic. No. Eagles. Their receiving game was quiet. Jalen Hurts was 13 for 21, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did get sacked twice. Rushing, clearly it is Saquon Barkley. 25 carries, 119 yards. Didn't get any touchdowns in this one. That's fine. Jalen Hurts ran for 36 yards. On the receiving end, Devonta Smith got 55. Dallas Goedert. By the way, Dallas Goedert, I do want to point out, when we're talking about getting stiffies for stiffies, Dallas Goedert did 1 stiff arm in his touchdown run, followed up by a second stiff arm, because the first one wasn't enough. Followed was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I put you down. Let me put you down in this next one. Fucking fantastic. He's old as shit, too. You know what I mean? Yeah, God. This was crazy. When I saw that when I watched Jahan Dotson get his one single catch, his 11-yard catch for a touchdown, which, by the way, is more than A.J. Brown, who got 1 for 10. But Jahan Dotson, I remember when I heard that trade and we were talking about it, and I was like, I feel like the Philadelphia receiving room with Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, and then Jahan Dotson as your wide receiver 3, that's a stupid good receiving core. But Jahan Dotson's been so quiet.
Yep.
So quiet.
And, maybe he doesn't know how to be wide receiver 3.
Maybe. But at the same time, they've been such a strong running squad this year behind Saquon. That being said, don't forget, you have fucking Jahan Dotson, who came from the Commanders last year.
Yep.
He's a good fucking wide receiver. And he's on Philadelphia.
And
Holy
it's great,
shit.
Keep him in the pocket so you need him,
Yep. As we kick off playoffs, here we are. If you're watching us on YouTube, Washington and Tampa Bay on right now. It's currently in the first quarter. Tampa Bay up by 3. And then tomorrow is Minnesota versus
the Rams.
And the Rams, yes. Thank you. So
in Arizona. Yeah.
That's right, yes, in Arizona. With all the wildfires, they did move the game away from SoFi Stadium. I would like to do a little commentary on wildfires. I know there's plenty of people that it's very easy to say, fuck all those rich assholes, let their shit burn. Keep in mind, while all the rich people's houses are burning, there's plenty of businesses that are around all those rich people that are owned by working folks, and their shit's getting burned down.
Yep.
And you know that their shit's going to get built back last.
Yep.
So just be aware that outside of all the rich people losing their stuff, there's a lot of businesses getting burned down that are manned and owned by working class, and we support the fuck out of that too. So,
Yep.
and also, if you are out there fighting fires, cheers to you as the son of a first responder. What you do is invaluable. So,
To that. There's also, and I know, I don't know how much of it is like trying to maintain a social media presence or whatever, but there's a number of those wealthy celebrities that have been caught on camera aiding the evacuation efforts.
oh yeah,
Not running and hiding at their other home, and I like
Yep.
that. It's like people helping people,
Absolutely, and that and like when those stories come out slowly because the people that are out there doing work, they don't have the time to get out there and let you they're not doing it because they want the social media cred.
Yeah.
One of the best ones was Boardwalk Empire.
Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, I
Thank
didn't
you
see
very
his.
much.
But
He's
a first responder.
I'm not talking about right now, but back during 9/11, Steve Buscemi used to be a firefighter. So during 9/11, this wasn't discovered until way after
Years
the fact.
later. Yeah.
That someone pointed out and was like, yeah, Steve Buscemi, who was a firefighter, showed up to his old station and was like, how can I help?
Yeah.
Put me to work. And he just went to work quietly
Yeah.
and silently and just did or what are you doing? Moving rubble, directing traffic, whatever it is, you're an
Yeah.
extra body there helping out. Those that are doing that, fantastic. We love it. Go, 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 go.
And I fully believe the world has more of those people. We just don't hear about them.
Of course.
I really do.
Of course.
You know.
So, in 4 games, Brian, is there more to talk about before we jump into our other stuff?
Not really. I mean, they happened.
I mean, they happen. They really haven't been the most dramatic playoff game so far.
I was really hoping the Green Bay Eagles game would have been much more interesting. Because, I wanted let's see some good football after the Broncos lost. And
the Eagles could have used a bit of a scare, and I think Green Bay had it in them to do more, to give the Eagles a scare. If you're an Eagles fan, I think not that you want injuries, but I think you wanted someone to give you a test to give you that fire.
I don't know if they could have come back, but Josh Jacobs getting hurt towards the end when they were starting to pick up some steam, that could have been a game changer. It could have been.
Yep. Well, I guess we jump into our midway segments.
I think we should.
All right. Well, it's a little NFL. I guess I might as well top off on a little bit of whiskey. Got a little.
I think you have to.
A little Green River. It is one of my favorites. And not only is it a favorite, but it's $35, $40 a bottle. You can't beat this. It's fantastic. Just great whiskey. So, let me top off of that before I get into the NFL, because things do happen outside of professional football, and I'm here to report on whatever the fuck I think is interesting, sports-wise.
Did you bring in a Green River glass just to drink your Green River whiskey?
No, it's your Green River glass.
Oh, is that here?
It's yours. You own it. You own 2 Green River glasses. Yeah. They're yours. They're yours.
Well, I mean, since you got the other one out. I honestly don't remember when I got those.
I
it
know
was clearly at a Green River thing.
I know exactly when it was, because there's another event coming up in February called Opposites Attract, and it's going to be both Bardstown and Green River, because they are owned by the same company.
That's what it was,
we did one of those last year where we had Bardstown Bourbon Company and Green River came in to one of our local restaurants, put on this fantastic event, talking about, and the focus of that was, it was a food pairing dinner. We got a local chef who just does fucking incredible food. And then Green River, which is a very traditional style distillery, and Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is leaning into the more automated and modern distilling and blending techniques. So it was the Opposites Attract, whatever. So anyways,
I like it.
Anyways, getting into the old, I guess we got to talk about college football, because it is playoff season, and not just. And I don't say bowl games. While they are technically still bowl games, we are now in full-on college football playoffs. So Thursday, Friday, we had the Orange Bowl with Notre Dame and Penn State. And we had the Cotton Bowl with the following. Sorry, that was Thursday was Notre Dame, Penn State, and then Friday was the Cotton Bowl with Ohio State and the Texans.
Whoa. Texas, not the Texans.
Texas, not the Texans. So
Texans would have demolished them.
yeah. So Thursday, Notre Dame and Penn State was the kind of game that you want every playoff game to be. First half, very slow. No scores in the first quarter. Second quarter, Notre Dame 3, Penn State 10. Slow. To jump right into the stats before I give the whole shaboozy, Notre Dame, Riley Leonard, he was 15 for 23, 223 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He did leave the game a little bit with an injury, so they did have Steve and Jelly come in for a few plays, but Leonard came back to finish out the game. On the rushing side of things, Notre Dame, it wasn't like it was dominant from anyone particular. Jeremiah Love, 11 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. Riley Leonard, the quarterback, 18 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown. Beyond that, not much else. The passing game, Jaden Greathouse got 105 yards and a TD. They had Aeneas Williams, 66 yards. Solid game. This was like the defense was fantastic in general, especially about.
You don't see that at these college level games.
Especially
either.
about keeping Penn State rushing a little bit slowed down. On the Penn State side, passing was abysmal. 12 for 23, 135 yards, 0 touchdowns and interception. That'd be Drew Allar. On the rushing side of it, better. Nicholas Singleton, 15 for 84 yards. And Katron Allen, just fucking, I'm sorry, Katron, who was 82 yards, but it was Nicholas Singleton with his 15 carries and 84 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. On the receiving side, Tyler Warren, 75 yards, Singleton, 33 yards. This came down to the fourth quarter where there was 17 points scored by Notre Dame and Penn State 14. It was just a brawl at the end of the game. Notre Dame pulls it out, moving on to the championship, and it has everyone's panties in a fucking ruffle.
Why?
Let me get back to that for a second. I want to jump to the next game. I want to jump to the Cotton Bowl.
UT sucks. Move along.
I want to jump to the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State, the Ohio State Buckeyes, did beat Texas Longhorns 28-14. It was not that much of a drubbing, actually. If you watch the game, Ohio State did go up 7 points in the first quarter. It was 14-7 going into the half. Texas comes out to make it even in the third quarter, and then it was 2 scores in the fourth quarter that pushed the Buckeyes ahead. That also involved, interceptions.
Yeah, it's a shitty mistake after shitty mistake.
Shitty mistake after shitty mistake. So it really didn't seem like an absolute drubbing. But Ohio State was definitely the best team on the field. Forget just like it was stupid mistakes on Texas' part. They were the best team on the field. Ohio State, Will Howard, he did throw for 289 yards, a touchdown and interception. Travion Henderson on the rushing side did carry it for 42 yards. Quinshon Judkins, 9 carries, 36 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jesus. Receiving, relatively quiet. Carnell Tate at 87. Travion Henderson, again, 75. 1 carry for 75 yards and a touchdown. Jesus. Oh. Ohio State's looking good. Quinn Ewers, who's been the talk of a lot of the season, especially because is he the guy, or should they put in one Arch Manning? Arch did come in for a rushing play actually a very critical rushing play. Quinn Ewers, who threw 23 for 39, not great, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. On the rushing side of it, very quiet for Texas. Obviously, like as they fell behind, but Quinn Travion Wisner, 17 carries for 46 yards.
Yeah, it's abysmal.
Right? Next was Jaden Blue, 4 for 16. Arch Manning, who was 1 for 8, but it was a very critical rush. Very critical rush. The receiving side, Jaden Blue did get 5 for 59 and 2 touchdowns, but it really just was sad overall for what Texas did. They just got outpaced in the second quarter, the second half. Ohio State is looking nice. But I do want to go back to how everyone is just falling apart lately. Like, this is what they're talking about is Notre Dame. The talking heads, already it was like the first complaints were every team that got the bye lost. Mm-hmm. So then it was, here's why the 12-team format sucks. Because, right? Well, maybe it's better that there isn't a week off. First of all, screw you.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about having a week rest. Well, yeah, but maybe that week is good for your consistency. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Right now, stop it. You're trying to tell me that you're going into playoffs and it's better to play versus rest a week? I don't believe you.
Because you hear every year after the Super Bowl, like, oh, this team would have won if they didn't have a week off. Mm-hmm. You hear that all the time, of course.
But there were 2 big talking points that I heard that I wanted to capture. Okay? So, one of them was this point that was, Notre Dame is like the kid who sits on the side of the playground watching a fight happen and waits until it's almost hashed out before they jump in on the winning side. And that's frustrating.
That's not even a good analogy.
It's not even a good analogy because you're not waiting on the side for someone to hash it out, right? Just because other teams are in conferences and they have to work through their conference play.
They're not like jumping into the weakest conference 2 weeks before the end of the season, you know?
So the other one says not being in a conference is an unfair advantage. And the point behind that is, okay, so if you're one of the top teams, you do have to play if you're in a big conference, you've got to play through high-end teams.
Usually.
And
There's
then when you hit the conference champion schedule, now you are playing high-end teams to go get that championship title. But the reality is, if Notre Dame is not going to be, if they're not going to be in a conference, then they will never, ever, ever automatically get the bye. So in the first year, everyone that got the bye lost. So now we're going to pretend like having the bye is a disadvantage.
It's bad somehow.
And therefore that's good for Notre Dame because they'll never have that. I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree 100%, right? And then they're trying to look back through their like wins, and it's like, well, yeah, but these are the wins that they had. Like, Notre Dame puts together a good schedule. If Notre Dame doesn't put together a strong schedule, they're not gonna get the nod. Like,
they have no chance.
So they were a 2-loss team going into the championship. No, a 1-loss team going into the going into the playoffs. They're a 1-loss team. A 1-loss team. And they have a good schedule. They have like some of their wins over some top teams, top ranked teams. So Notre Dame with a strong schedule, not in a conference. So they have to schedule smart way, and they got to win.
Yeah.
There's not just a guarantee. They got to win.
Yeah.
They got to beat these good teams.
Oh, if they lose one of these games, they're out.
Right.
You
So
know?
there's nothing else that supports them. So they have to be great to get the nod to make it in. Now it's a 12-team format. But here's the thing. Previously, they never, ever had a chance at a college football championship because they weren't
because you had to be
in a
within
conference.
that system. Yeah.
If you're not in a conference, you can't make it. So Notre Dame has not done it. In fact, at one point in time, Penn State was independent. And then they joined a conference. Because you know what? You can't win a championship if you don't join a conference. How many college football championships does Penn State have? 0, by the way.
I was going to say, like, I know they've had many years where they're good.
So I don't understand. Yeah, they don't understand the whole, like everyone's looking for this stupid thing to talk about when it's like, okay, now we have this 12-team format, and here's why Notre Dame has an advantage. Fuck straight off.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has no advantage. The advantage is now that they just won. So first of all, like making it to the playoffs is like the fact that they made it to the last 4 teams. When you make it into the final 4 of college football, you have $14 million coming towards your conference. So now, for the first time ever, Notre Dame has $14 million coming from the NCAA as an independent, which means they get all of it. And then you got these fucking talking heads saying, well, yeah, but that's going to go right into NIL. But it can't.
Because it's going to the school.
Because it can't. The school can't, right. So now Notre Dame, as a program, doesn't need that money for football. They can sink that money into their other athletics, which, by the way, is pretty much ACC for almost everything else.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, oh yeah, but now they have an advantage because they're getting $14 million by making it there. It's like, stop it. If you think that being at a conference used to be the only way to do it, but now you're not in a conference and it's beneficial, no. You have everything to gain, but everything to lose. It is equal on either side.
Yep.
Maybe there's benefits, but if you slip up a little bit, you don't have anything to rest on. You can't say, yeah, but they're playing Big 12. They're playing Big 10. They're playing SEC. You can't bank on that anymore. They have to build a good schedule and win.
Yeah.
And now they're going up into the championship game against Ohio State, and ouch.
When you look at, like, historically all the, the big conference schools that pay a school to play them.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking lose.
Yes.
Why doesn't that count 10 times against them?
Right.
It doesn't. They're like, oh, that was a fluke. Like, how can you say that loss was a fluke when you lost to a clearly shittier team, you know? It was like, whether you weren't prepared enough, whether that team is better than anybody thought it was, just because they don't play within your conference doesn't make them not a good fucking team. And, like, they didn't bitch about that. When Bama loses to fucking South Florida INT, that didn't count against them,
Right. So now SEC, who didn't have any Final Four teams, doesn't get any of that money.
Yep.
And it's but wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's not fair. They're independent. I'm sorry. That is literally like feast or famine.
Yep.
You get no wiggle room. You better be. And I'll say this about Notre Dame. I will argue that they are America's college team when it comes to football.
I would say that too.
Because if you just, even if you're a casual fan, if you just are from an Irish household, you might have just adopted Notre Dame. If you're just
if you see a golden helmet, that's Notre Dame.
If you're just a casual fan, and I got no problem with that. If you're just a casual fan, you might just say I'm a Notre Dame fan because of that Irish connection or that Catholic connection.
Yeah.
Like simple as that. That is arguably. Hold on, I'm getting a message from Matt that just says hello. Hello. Check the chat. Holy shit.
Oh, I was checking it earlier.
Apparently, Matty Fax wants to chime in on something. Holy crap.
He says Notre Dame should never join a conference.
Okay.
Amanda says, yay, I got a bike. Pee pee poo poo.
Why is Amanda better at this than Matt is? Come on.
Amanda also says, R.I.P. Matty Fax.
Oh!
He died doing what he loved, getting sharted on by Manatee.
All right, well,
I really hope, not the dead part, but I really hope he got shot out by a Manatee.
Yes. Matty Fax is in the Keys, and I'm assuming that one Manatee looked at him and said, we're clearly friends. Our secret handshake is poop, and so...
No, the Manatee was a Packers fan.
All right. Brian, is that enough football for NFL? Should we move on and talk about the NBA?
I think because we could argue about conference and forever, yeah. else you
So,
got?
hey, by the way, Zion Williams came back from injury this past Tuesday and played a basketball game.
Did he get hurt again already?
And listen,
That would break the trend.
he went up against the Timberwolves, put up some good ass stats. I mean, like difference maker stats. Like after coming back from a lot of time off, he played 28 minutes, put up 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and 3 steals.
That's a good 22 minutes.
Hell
That's
yeah,
really
it is,
good.
right? 28 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
But still, like,
yeah.
this is like he is a difference maker when he's on the floor.
Yeah?
And I'm assuming coming back from injury, he wasn't planning on playing Thursday's game. But also, he was late to catch the team plane, which resulted in the team suspending him. And then he missed Friday's game against the 76ers.
Oh my god. Get out of your own fucking way, Zion.
So now, I gotta ask you, how much do you think he's played this year? If I give you some...
I mean, we're only 40 games in, roughly.
I was gonna say, do you want percentage? Do you want total games? Like, what's the number as you're trying to make your guess?
I'm going to say 11.
He has played 11 games. No, sorry. You're saying he's played 11
Yeah.
games. There have been 40 total
That's what I said.
on the season,
Yeah.
including tonight. There is actively a game right now. So, outside of today, there have been 39 games played. Of them, how many has he played?
I thought we just said 11.
Oh. You said 11. You said he's played 11 games.
Yeah.
I'm saying out of 39 games, how do you think he's played?
9.
It's 7.
Oh.
7. Yes.
And I hope he comes back fully healthy and has an actual healthy half season.
The reason I really wanted to talk about it is because I think it was last week or the week before we were talking about Wembanyama and his first 100 games.
Yeah, we can
And-
talk about him all night long. Go ahead.
And in the first 100 games, and it was like, here's how many points he's put up in his first 100 games. And he's like number 7 in terms of total points in 100 games.
Yeah.
And one of the guys above him is Zion Williams.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Zion Williamson,
Like, to me, he's played so few games.
but in his first 100 games,
I feel like he got hurt before the
Oh.
end of his first season.
but when you're talking about 100 games played, it could have been spread
It could have
across
been
a
spread over
bunch.
3 seasons. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But like his first 100 games, he's a
Fuck.
great player. When he's out there, he's a difference maker. When he's out there, holy shit. Yeah, like so
I never would have pegged him top 10.
So he played October 25th, 27th, 29th, 30th, November 1st, November 6th, and then nothing until January 7th.
Man.
Just,
Yep.
here's a man who can change the course of your game.
Cannot stay
And
healthy.
he cannot stay healthy, and it's a
That
tragedy.
sucks, yeah.
An absolute tragedy. It's so rough. So rough. Wait, hold on.
That sucks a lot.
Hold on, wait. Breaking news. Draymond Green was upset about a call and got into a fight with a player and then the ref.
This is breaking news?
Oh yeah, no, it's not breaking news at all. It's just
This is a monthly occurrence.
no. Actually,
Well, the
I
ref
have
part, that's not monthly. but-
actually I have something way worse to talk about with Draymond Green.
Oh, shit.
And this is my own fault. I missed this. On December 19th. Draymond Green set a record. Set an NBA record. In under 20 minutes, he put up a negative 42 plus minus. So a plus minus means when you're on the court, that's how many points the team scored if your team was winning versus the other team, like how many points like each team scored, right?
Yeah.
So if you were on the floor for 10 minutes and you scored 10 and they scored 10, that's 0.
Yeah.
Right. So in under 20 minutes, he was on the floor for 19 minutes. He set an NBA record of negative 42 plus minus.
How is that possible?
So not only him being on the court led to a 42-point swing for the other team, but in his total time on the court, he put up he was 0 for 4 field goals, 0 for 1 from 3-point, no foul shot. He had no rebounds, he had no assists, he had no blocks, he had 1 steal, 4 fouls, and 4 turnovers.
In 19 minutes.
And also a negative 42 plus minus.
God. I mean, the 4 fouls and 4 turnovers definitely help.
Draymond Green
Oh my God.
is the kind of player that I really, really love when it comes to basketball. That kind of guy who's very cerebral. He's an undersized power forward, but he had the ability to pull rebounds like second to when it comes to undersized guys, a Dennis Rodman, right? Had that mindset of like
he's that good?
second to.
Still, second two. That's still high praise.
For undersized power forwards. I'm talking about undersized power forwards. But like Dennis Rodman, undersized power forward. Maybe not undersized, but he was. There was others that were bigger than. But like,
yeah, no, I got you.
But Draymond Green, 6'7", but like 230. Like he's big, but like smart rebounder for a lot of like his defense was smart. He triple doubled in an NBA Finals 1 year when they won, right?
But how can you be capable of that and that?
Because when you're 10 years removed from that ability, not even 10 years, but whatever, like falling off, man, like Draymond, just oof. On the other side of it, Russell Westbrook and Jokic made history. They are now the first pair of teammates to get triple doubles in the same game twice in a season.
Wow.
Now, the one back in December, Jokic went 36 points, 22 rebounds, and 11 assists. And
That's a hell of a triple-double.
Westbrook did a measly 16 points with 10 rebounds and 10 assists.
Still.
So between the two of them, 21 rebounds. 21 assists, 33 rebounds, and 52 points? Stupid. Yeah,
it can only be better if all 21 assists went to each other.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, that's also. I mean, like at that point, like probably.
All of them.
Yeah, but just the other day, like this triple double, nothing to sneeze at. Jokic 12 rebounds, Westbrook 11, Jokic 15 assists, Westbrook 10. Points, Jokic 35, Westbrook 25. And I want to also say this, love him or hate him, Russell Westbrook is a polarizing figure. Definitely a polarizing figure. He's now getting up there in age. He's having a blast, and he's playing great ball.
Who doesn't want to fucking play with Jokic?
And then, like by the way, when he joined the Nuggets, he was like, I will be the number one guy off the bench. I'm happy to be the guy coming off the bench. And they're actually now, like, he did that initially, and he was doing great leading the second unit, and now he's starting, and they're like, Jesus Christ, like...
This is working.
This is working as him starting. So, like, he's willing to take that secondary role.
Really doing it. Not willing to say it. Willing to actually do it.
He was doing it, but then now they're also finding, like, now that he's getting used to the system, holy shit, put the two of them together. God damn. So he's over 200. Like he did cross his 200th triple double. He's still in the obviously he's still in the lead.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Jokic keeps racking them up
Yeah.
and is doing it at a faster rate. So Jokic is probably
Yep.
he's on his way
Well,
to knocking that off.
And he's helping him achieve this stat.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking great, you know? Mm-hmm. And the season's barely a third over, you know?
Yeah. So that's my NFL. That's my NFL.
That's great.
That's
Those are great.
Yeah. So hold on, wait a minute. We do have a squeak streak. I forgot.
No.
Eric is out, but he did send me a streak. Are you ready for this, Brian? Or do you want to run off a couple of the last ones that he hasn't made yet?
Well, this last one we can't prove until later. And it's that Terry McLaurin averages over 5 yards per catch.
Okay.
And I haven't been watching the game super closely, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Well, all right. So for this week, he's talking about Tommy Townsend, the punter for the Houston Texans, who's been averaging over 45 yards per punt this season, which is pretty fucking impressive, actually. But so he says exclusively for punts over 45 yards versus the Chiefs, but they're going to be on their side of the 50 all game. Okay, so he's saying that he will continue in his next game to average over 45 punts. Average over 45 yards per punt because they will be on their side of the 50 all game. Gotcha.
That's kind of a shitty squeak, but
Okay.
I get it. Yeah.
All right, now I get it. So yes, okay. So because the Texans will be on their side of the 50 all game against the Chiefs,
Every single one of his punts will go for over
every
45.
will have to be over 45 yards. Okay, well that one sounds actually a lot more logical than
It really
some of those other
does.
ones, but that's the streak. That's the squeak streak. So
Yeah. Yeah, because his
Yeah.
last one he was wrong about was the
Yeah.
college football one he was wrong.
yeah.
One before that was Jaden Daniels. Before that was Adam Thielen. He hasn't been correct since
I mean,
end of November.
he's rarely correct anyway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he was only right twice all season, I think.
all right, well I guess we're on to the old just the worst.
Yeah, just the worst.
You got a just the worst for me, Brian?
I do have a just the worst.
Okay.
It's kind of shitty, which
Oh,
makes it just the worst,
which is
I
what
guess.
makes it just the worst.
So if you're a big football fan, especially if you're a Tennessee Titans fan or a Buffalo Bills fan, you probably remember the Music City Miracle play, where on a kickoff return, tight end Frank Wycheck did a lateral pass and ended up scoring a tutty, kicked the Bills out of the playoffs that year. Same year the Titans went on to the Super Bowl, only to lose to where the fuck did Kurt Warner come from and do that shit?
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah.
very cool Super Bowl ending, you know. Same Super Bowl where the Titans almost tied the game. They got tackled at the one.
Mm-hmm.
The guy stretched his arm out and just missed it, you know. So it was a good Super Bowl. But he died last year, 2 years ago now, I guess, December of last year. But the results came back from his CTE scan, which he demanded have done 8 years ago. It was like, when I die, you guys are doing this. My family, you're doing this, you know. So, of course, stage 3. Stage 4 is the worst CT, but stage 3. And again, one of those things the last few years of his life, his family was like, he's not the same guy. His emotions are different. His mentality is different. His mood swings are all the fucking hallmarks of all these things, you know. When asked for comment, the NFL spokesman said, our thoughts and prayers with the Wycheck family, and, we're glad that he's finally at peace. Or something like that. He died over a year ago, but, now he's at peace. I was like, what the fuck, you know? And, player safety is number one. We're allowing players to wear Guardian helmets. We're not going to force them to, but we're allowing them to. And there's so many of them that don't do it because it looks a little silly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's your fucking brain.
We're watching the Washington Tampa Bay game right now, and there's a offensive lineman for Washington wearing a Guardian cap.
Yeah.
Fucking go get it, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
All about it. So
And he was a tight end, for 10 years, something like that, 8 years for Tennessee. Pretty good player, not amazing, not going to be in the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But he was 52. Mm-hmm. This isn't an old football player, It's
yeah.
if you were born in 2000, you watched him play, And so, it's, that kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth again. And it probably comes up 3 times a year on our show. The NFL just needs to do better.
Yeah,
They
I agree.
really
I
have
agree.
to.
I agree.
Like, I love football. I don't want to see it turn into flag football.
Yeah.
Like, the Pro Bowl doing it, that's fine. That's better than watching the shitty Pro Bowl real game anyway. But they got to do something. Just the worst.
I got one. This is about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to say a name that Matt doesn't... He already said, I never want to say this man's name again for the rest of the season, but I will be saying his name because it deserves to be heard in full related to this. And I'm talking about the owner / GM, Jerry Jones.
You said his name.
I sure did. Fucking Voldemort can suck it.
Oh, no.
Okay?
No, but if you wrote it out, it was G's instead of J's.
There we go. Yeah, of course, right. So as this is what we're talking about last week, right? Going into the last game of the season, Cooper Rush was the quarterback after Dak Prescott got hurt. Now, so he had 2 stages of incentives,
Yep.
right? He did end up playing 45% of snaps, which got him $250,000 bonus.
Yep.
But he finished week 16 at 52.3% snaps.
What was his next bonus marker?
At 55% would have got him an extra $250,000, which was 60 snaps. But he didn't play because they put in Trey Lance.
Yep.
And are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me that, like, your backup quarterback isn't worth an extra $250,000 to get him out there and play, and putting Trey Lance out there
Yep.
was the best decision for the team? Don't get me wrong. Hey, you want to play Trey Lance? You had other opportunities.
Yep.
Look,
Plenty. Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
You did.
And you played Cooper Rush instead of him.
You played Cooper Rush because you thought Cooper Rush was the guy to give you the best chance to make the playoffs.
Even though he was your 3rd string quarterback.
And you shorted him by that much.
Yep.
By that much.
To save $250K.
To save $250K.
Yep.
And as much as I want to say you're just the worst, Jerry Jones, it's no surprise.
No.
It's not a shock. It's actually like you're not just the worst. You exist as the worst because we already know you do those things.
That's like telling the devil he's mean.
You slow played your quarterback and your number 1 wide receiver to start the season. I shouldn't be surprised. Yet still, I saw that and I'm like, fuck it, this is my just the worst. Because it still pisses me off because he fucking, like, as much as I talk about how owners, like, they get too involved with, like, when they get too involved with what's going on, but they're not football people.
Yep.
He's a football person, self-proclaimed, but he invests himself in the game because he considers himself the GM, and you're still making these fucking decisions. That's shitty. It's shitty right there.
Yep.
Because you don't have someone fighting for your players. That's the problem right there. Cooper Rush has been with you for a minute. And by the way, he's played some good football for you.
Yep.
He's been your backup. And you shortchange him $250K because you want to play Trey Lance? Fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Bullshit. Just the worst.
I'm going to tack onto that just the worst.
Okay,
just a
go
little
on.
bit
Go
there.
on. Tack onto it.
So the other night, the wife and I were watching Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. It's really good. It's a really good show. I like Taylor Sheridan. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan's.
Okay.
I like his shows, Just trying to relax and enjoy it, watch the show. And out of fucking nowhere, who fucking pops up as a cameo?
Shut up.
Fucking Jerry Jones. Like, ah. And the worst part was he was acting like we're supposed to care about him and his feelings.
No. Oh, stop it. Get out of here. All right, listen. I wish he was poor and could spend a solid year in a poorly run a retirement community where he's getting abused by an orderly on
Diaper
a
full of
power trip.
shit, and yeah.
Like we're talking about Billy Madison's grandmother getting harassed by Ben Stiller. I wish that on him. I really do. That's what you deserve, you piece of shit.
I agree. Matt says that he signed you up for the Chris Collinsworth fan club.
Well, to that I say, I hope your email account is spammed to death by all things Chris Collinsworth.
Yep.
All right, is that enough NFL?
I believe so.
Is that enough? Just the worst? Is that enough streaks?
No, some bad stuff there.
All right. How many whopping games do we have to pretend to talk about next week? How do we do this?
So we know the Texans are going to be playing...
Wait. Hold on. As Matt would say, we never do anything whole ass around here. We are in the midst of game 5 of 6, and we're already going to jump to the following week when there's even fewer games to make our predictions.
Yep.
Because we whole ass nothing and half ass everything. So.
Oh, I should say this because Matt's not here, and he would be happy. So our regular season picks.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So overall, Eric was dead last. He picked correctly 153 times.
Lame.
I did not much better with 158. I started strong, and week by week got worse and worse. You started fucking guns a-blazing.
Guns a-blazing, yeah.
And then week by week, Matt kept chipping away, and he ended up winning. He's got 179 to your 174.
All right.
But you fucking demolished me and Eric, so. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But so the games we know that are going to happen next week, the Texans are going to play in Kansas City.
Okay.
I'm picking the Texans, because fuck it. I picked the Chargers this week, and they handled them easily.
It's at Kansas City?
Yeah, it's in Kansas City. But, according to college football talkie people, they had a week off, and so that's going to be terrible for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's,
it's
terrible,
terrible,
so, obviously, it's unfair.
It's unfair.
It's unfair to get the extra week.
They made Kansas City rest for a week.
Yeah, I know.
Totally unfair.
No, right, of course. I've been... As much as they've slid back these past 2 years, actually more than 2 years, like the way that Lovie Smith got Texas kind of pulled together after the Deshaun Watson tragedy, and then they bring in Jaden Daniels. They've got that young core of Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
CJ Stroud. It'd be nice if they had Jaden Daniels.
I'm sorry.
Do you think all young black quarterbacks look the same, Scott?
No. CJ Stroud with Nico Collins, Tank Dell, like last year, like they were like on the up and up, and I'm like, yep, all right, great. I am now bandwagon Texans. I'm gonna stick with that, Brian. I'm gonna go with you on this one because honestly, the way that we're seeing fucking Kansas City all season is really annoying.
Just eking it out.
Exactly. Oh. And I need to see them lose. Yes, they're coming in with a bye, but they're not playing that kind of football that I want to see. So let's take them out now. So yeah, give me Texans.
All right, I like it.
And I assume that Matt and Eric are
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Okay.
I mean, it's the smart bet, but
yeah.
And
for the record, Eric literally is saying anything Matt says, unless he picks against the Bills.
Yeah. So the only other game we know about, it's the Ravens in Buffalo.
Shit! Oh my God. Okay, that fucking sucks. Because the Ravens are playing Super Bowl level football.
Yep.
I'm not gonna pick against Buffalo. I'm a New York boy.
Going home region.
While I'm a Giants fan, they carry a lot of sentimentality to me. Today we were watching Buffalo and the Broncos, and I told you, and I was like, I'm 55-45. Oh, because we're watching together, and you're my friend, and I'm gonna I want to see an underdog, especially an unexpected team like the Broncos.
Under,
in the playoffs.
underdog.
Yeah. I'm going to be cheering for good football, and I did cheer for anything good that the Broncos did, but nah, like it's the Bills still hold that closer sentiment to my heart, so I'm going to go Bills. That being said, fucking hell, that's a match right there.
It really is. It really is. And like, I wish we knew how the rest were going to shake up on the NFC, but I'm like the Ravens, like, fuck, they're good. They are so fucking good.
I know.
Like, and I hate to say, like, this is our year. Every single year for the Bills is kind of becoming the Wee Dim Boys.
But at the same time, like,
but it could be.
They've got to stop that rush. That is not easy to stop.
Yep.
The Ravens' offense is an absolute machine.
Yep. And they proved today they don't need Zay Flowers. No fucking problem.
Right.
Just fucking Derrick Henry.
I mean,
sprinkle the ball around.
I mean, I do think that the Bills' defense is better than the Pittsburgh defense.
Oh yeah.
But goddamn, I think the Bills can pull it off. But we're talking about like 2 Super Bowl caliber teams playing each other.
Yep.
That's fucking shit. All right. So
I'm going Bills.
You're going Bills also? Okay.
Eric's going Bills, but only because Matt's going the Ravens.
All right. Yeah.
Because I don't think he would have picked the Bills otherwise.
I mean,
little Debbie Downer. I don't think so. You know. We don't know, so it could be
okay.
Washington, Minnesota, or the Rams in Detroit. Mm-hmm. The other one could be Tampa Bay, Minnesota, or the Rams at Philadelphia.
Okay.
So we don't know. The only thing we know is if Washington wins, they're going to play the Lions. If Tampa wins, they're going to play the Eagles.
Gotcha.
The other two are both, up and down, just because the rankings.
All right. Well, so we can't really make our picks on this.
We really can't, but we always do this shit.
All right. So sorry. What are our
Washington, Minnesota, or the Rams versus the Lions?
Washington versus the Lions. Give me Lions.
Oh, we're gonna spread them out. Okay.
No. We don't have to. I guess we don't have to write these down. But like, hold on.
I'm pretty sure
you said Washington,
Minnesota, or the Rams.
Or the Rams. Against the Lions.
Yeah, I don't see any of them beating the Lions.
I don't see. I'm Lions. I'm Lions all the way on this one.
I think that's the easier one.
Yeah.
Matt went the Lions, so that means Eric's going the Lions. Mm-hmm. And I want to see the Lions. I mean, I still want to see a Bills-Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one would be either Tampa, Minnesota, or the Rams at Philadelphia. This one I separated out because, I don't know.
Right.
Like, whoever it is, that could change quite a bit.
At the Eagles.
Yep.
Tampa.
Who didn't look great today against the Pack, you know?
Tampa, Minnesota, or the Rams.
Yep.
All right. I don't see the Rams winning. I don't see Tampa winning. I think Minnesota could beat the Eagles, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If they play Tampa, I'm saying Tampa. If they play Minnesota, I'm also going the Vikings. If they play the Rams, I'm saying the Rams.
Okay.
I think it doesn't matter.
You think Eagles lose regardless?
I think they lose.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Like, unless they have a real fucking come to Jesus moment about the game today. And like they won. And they won handily. But they did not fucking play well at all,
And Green Bay's got a good secondary. That slowed them down for sure. But
and like Saquon can do it all, but not all the time.
But what Saquon does is he opens up their passing game. So with with AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, like that's such a quality duo out there. Saquon keeping everyone fucking honest, and then Dallas Goedert double stiff arming, still at age 42, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So yeah, that's like I hear what you're saying, but like it's there for them.
Oh,
Man.
I think they should.
But yeah, you're right. The Eagles are fallible for sure. So yeah,
And I think like the Vikings, I think having that fucking horrific loss 2 weeks ago was really good for them. You know?
and so what was surprising about that Vikings loss was them getting picked off by a decimated secondary for supposedly decimated secondary by Detroit.
Yeah.
Like having just an awful game. Minnesota's fucking offense is nice. Their defense is also great. So you're right. I think Minnesota, like being able to beat the Eagles, I agree. Like it's possible. It's not that I like that one better than the other options. That's for sure. I do. I think like Tampa Bay. I'm Team Baker, but like I don't think they have it in them.
Yeah,
I don't think they have them in them.
I want them to, and that's more one of my wish picks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Matt said coin toss
Oh.
on all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea how it's going to shake out, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess we got to just pick for him.
Okay.
Koozie flip. We'll do a koozie flip.
Sure. All right. Well, we got to flip a Packers one, obviously.
Oh, we have
right?
to, yep.
So, home team is up, and then
Gotcha.
away team. Okay.
Gotcha.
What are we picking for?
Tampa Bay Eagles.
Tampa Bay at Eagles.
Yep. Well, we're going Tampa.
Tampa. All right. All right.
Minnesota at Eagles.
All right. Let me get warmed up again. Extra flips here. There we go.
Oh, we're going Eagles. All
All right.
And the Rams at the Eagles.
And one more flip, and we go.
Tie.
All right.
I'm going Rams.
Rams.
All right. So that
Okay.
means Eric is picking
All the same
Eagles.
things.
Oh, all the same things?
He said all the same things. Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's right. Unless he was going against. Yeah. All right. We'll see how that shakes out.
All right.
It's not looking good for Tampa right now.
No. Well, according to us.
Oh, no. I mean, this game, you know.
Oh, yeah. This game. Oh, yeah.
The game
This
that's
game
on,
right now. Yeah.
But it's not, it's early.
It's 10-3
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
clumbing to a close of the second here. So, second quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I did forget. I have a Matty fact that I thought he would like. So after today's matchup, Mike Tomlin versus John Harbaugh
Oh.
is the second most coaching matchups in NFL history.
Oh, that's fun.
38 times they played each other.
Yeah. I like that.
Including,
Sure,
the playoffs.
yeah,
but
yeah.
still, that's
Yeah.
because they're in the same division. They're both long tenured coaches. It just makes sense. I like it. Far and away, I don't know if they'll ever be caught. In first place, they have 49 coaching matchups head to head, and it's Curly Lambeau and George Hollis.
That makes a lot. That makes a lot of sense.
Which really does. They helped
Makes a
create
lot
the
of
team.
sense.
They helped
Yep.
create the
Yep.
NFL.
Yep.
But I was like, of course it's a fucking Bears-Packers thing,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
But I like that. I thought Matt would appreciate, us
Yep.
throwing a little George Hollis in there, but that's all I got.
I mean, I think that's probably enough for this week. I'm sure that Matt would fill another 40 minutes. Eric would try to chime in for an arguable 30, even though he says he gets no time. So that makes for a very concise show, as we're properly shorthanded. So
I think it works out well.
I guess so. With that, fun ass week. I'm pretty sure we're going to be here next week.
Yep.
On YouTube, assuming we still know how to make that work, and
Yep.
and also on our Apple and Spotify and whatever else we get them posted on. Manny Fax is going to be back from vacation. He's probably got another one of his sister podcasts in him, Straight Facts
Yeah,
Homie.
yeah. He'll probably be chomping at the bit to do it as soon as he gets back.
I'm sure. I did have some fun doing one with him a
was
couple
fun. I
weeks
liked
ago. I enjoyed the hell out of that. But that is a show for Half the Distance Live. Come check us out next week. I think it's our last week. I think that's normally how we do it.
Yeah, 'cause
think-
after that, there's only 2 games.
Yeah,
so
it gets really tough. So I think it's our next. I think it's going to be our last one. Most likely it will be. I'm saying it out loud, therefore it's manifest destiny.
Yes,
But
yes.
with that, I am Scotty Staten, a.k.a. Scotty Stats. De facto Manny Fax. on vacation. We can't wait to have him back. The chair, Brian the professor, and 0 producers. So,
I think it went pretty smoothly with no producers.
was that it? Is that what made it?
so,
Yeah. When you have someone whining, I even went out of my way to not talk about LeBron James.
You brought it up. You got a LeBron James in there. The goat, right?
Not gonna lie, he actually had an absolutely nasty dunk in this past week.
Yo, the switch hand one?
He switched hands
Yeah.
and dunked left-handed windmill. It was really sick. Everyone's like, that's a sick dunk, and this man's 40.
Yeah, he old, but he's still good. Yeah.
It was a really fun fucking dunk. Like, you have to watch it like 6 times, and every time you watch it, you're like, okay, no, it actually really is really, really nasty. You know, I wish Eric was here.
I know.
I wanted to really rub that in, because, you know, he hates him so much.
So much.
And the rest of us just appreciate that he's a good player.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Anyways, with that, good night. Be safe. Watch all the football. Watch all the good ass basketball. All the great sports. There's a Monday football game coming up in another week plus for the college championships. Monday's a rough one, but if you have the ability to find a place that's open on a Monday, go support them. Get some one last bit of college football in you. And with that, good night.